committee report like every other week.
Yep.
And so, you know, that way we kind of can keep up to date, and it's also a really good way to let people know how they can get involved. So,
Yep.
And look, it inspired you to support the initiative, right?
That's right. Well, we support it every year, but this reminded us of it. So anyway, it's a done deal. I think I signed in with them.
All right, numbers are growing, as they do. Beautiful day outside today.
It is.
Fortunately, I'm spending a large part of it in my basement office, but I hope to get outside at some point.
Good luck with that. It is pretty awesome there.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. It is my duty to go put a baby in his bed since my wife's on lifting restrictions.
Gotta share. Okay, just a reminder to everybody as you come in, make sure that you enter your name in the chat or your attendance. If you're a visitor, feel free to write your name and who you're a guest of. Visiting Rotarian, what club you're from. Welcome all of you.
I think everything.
So Bill Bywater, is it possible for you to move your camera down a little bit since you're going to speak today? I'm like seeing your head like right here. So there we go. That's it. Good. Perfect. Walter Sparks, glad to see you here. This is great. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the meeting. I love seeing all the names and the faces of everybody who's showing up. I walk by your house a lot. You got really lovely little backyard. You know, Walter's on like the other side of Willow Creek Park from where I am. So if I get real adventuresome, I walk up that way.
Well, thank you very much.
Glad to have you aboard. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll get started at about 12:03. Just a reminder to please go out to the chat and enter your name. And then also it's appreciated if you could mute your microphone. You don't need to mute your camera, but if you can mute your microphone, that way it'll work, unless you have some fabulous words of wisdom that you'd like to share with us. And then bring it. And Kelly, are you ready for your moment today?
I am.
Excellent. That's great. That's good. So reminder to everybody, we'll get started at about 12:03. We do have our district governor, Steve Dakin, here, and we are going to like rearrange the order just a little bit, and I'll remind you of that when the meeting gets started. So just so you're aware. Angelica, have not seen you for a while. Wonderful. Glad to see you here. Yes. Josh is in a car.
Bill, I'm not getting any sound.
Pardon? You're not hearing us? Can you hear us, Dora? And Charlie Funk. Charlie, good to see you there. Glad you could make it today. Much appreciated.
I only just see your head.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Glad to have you here. Just a reminder, please go into the chat and sign your name. And as you can mute your microphone.
Yeah, I did unmute.
Okay. So Doris, we can hear
Start
you.
again.
All right. So a reminder, we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. Make sure you go in and sign your name into the chat. Welcome to everybody. Numbers are climbing. We're up to 53, it looks like. That's great.
Special shout out for Angelica Venata, sneaking in after 6 months.
Yeah, and I love it. I love the background. That's great. Excellent. Really great to see everybody today. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in about 3 minutes. Make sure you go out to the chat box and sign your name in for your attendance.
Where is this chat box?
Well, supposedly if you have on a computer, it's down.
So if you're looking for the chat, what you should do is look, if you're on a computer, there would be a bunch of icons at the bottom, and you might see one that looks like a quotation box and it says chat. And if you click on that, that should open a window for you, and then you go put where it says type message here, then just click there, and that will give you the opportunity to type your name in. You press enter on your keyboard, and that should enter your name.
And if on a mobile device, it might be in the top right corner. You might see 3 little dots, whether you're an iPad or an iPhone or something like that.
Right.
That should give you some options.
Because, you know, it's Apple, so it's going to be different, which means it's going to be at the top instead of the bottom. You know, it's just kind of keeping you all on your toes, right?
You got on quick.
I did. I'm so good.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started in about 1 minute. If you're just coming in, if you could type your name into the chat, and then just keep a close eye on your volume. So if you need to mute yourself, you can do that. Welcome. Hey, Dave.
And we see from the chat that John Colshaw is a fan of the Apple products, apparently. So that means if you have trouble with an Apple and any Zoom question, you need to ask John Colshaw, and he will help you. Christina Kimmerly joining us from St. Louis. That's great to see. Love to see those numbers climbing. We're up to about 67. So Devin, if you're okay, I think we're going to get started.
Sounds great.
So everybody, welcome to the Iowa City Noon Rotary meeting. We are thrilled to have you here. And so as we traditionally do with each meeting, we would like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are able to stand, you can join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. So as we get started today, we will we are going to rearrange the order of the meeting just a little bit so that you're aware. We have our District Governor, Steve Dakin, with us today. He's got a big project going on in Boone. So we're going to do a teeny bit of business, and then we're going to turn it over to him early so that if he needs to leave for that project, he's able to do it. So we will still do introductions beforehand. We have a special presentation to Steve. He'll speak, and then we'll come back and do the announcements and the Rotary moment of gratitude and positivity after Steve speaks. So, but before we get started, I'm going to turn it over to Devin, who will give us just a few Zoom tips for everyone. Devin?
Yeah. So welcome, everybody. Just like President Barb said, there's a couple of things you need to know. One is that you have little reactions. There should be a little spot to do reactions. And sometime we're going to have a goat rider. And when that goat ride happens, you will need to know how to do the little applause emoji. Steve's on it. He's got it figured out. But if you hit the little applause button that shows up on whoever's screen it is, especially if it's a goat rider, so that they know it's time for them to stop. So a little bit of fun there. You can add a little flavor, even though you don't necessarily have the like that audible or that visual cue. This is a way to get closer to that. Another thing you'll want to look at is your chat box. There can sometimes be a whole other meeting happening there, depending on how long you've been on Zoom. But ideally, if you could sign in there, if you haven't already, most of you have, that helps us with attendance. And then the last thing is if you click on participants in one of those menu options that you have either down below or up above, whatever your device is, that'll allow you to do a couple of different things, but the most important one is to raise your hand. And so if you have an announcement or a question at some point, then you can use that raised hand, and it'll allow either Barb or myself to see it faster than we might otherwise. So yeah, welcome everybody. Back to you, President Barb.
Great. Thanks so much, Devin. And just a reminder that at the top, I think it might be in your top right if you're on a computer, but there is the speaker view, gallery view. And so especially as we get into the program and the introductions and announcements, it's a good time to be on speaker view because you'll see a larger image of your speaker instead of all the different little gallery images of your co-Rotarians. So with that, I'd like to do some introductions before we move to our program. So Devin will call on people. If you'd like to be introduced, please go to the participant button and raise your hand. I know that we have a couple of visiting Rotarians who are joining us. I'd love to have you introduce yourselves as well as any other guests. So I know that I did see, I'm going to turn this over to Devin, and I want to encourage you to raise your hand if you'd like to be introduced. Devin?
Yep. So first in line, I've got Phil Peterson. Phil, you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, Phil Peterson from Iowa City AM and Assistant District Governor. Good, glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you. Welcome, Phil. Peggy Grimmer.
There it is. Hi, had to find the unmute button. I'm Peggy Grimmer. I'm a financial advisor here in Iowa City, and Barb has invited me to join today to get a feel for the meeting. So thank you for allowing me to sit in.
Absolutely. Welcome, Peggy. Thanks for coming. Janet Lambertson. Welcome again. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, Janet Lambertson from Iowa Falls, incoming president. We do Zoom meetings, and I find it very helpful to sit in on your Zoom meeting as well as some others. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. And I know we've got at least one guest. I'll say a special welcome to Gary Wickland, who is essentially a member of this club, even though he's technically a member of the Vail Club. And then there's a guest, to Shaylin. Do you want to say hi again?
I thought it was Janet.
Hi, to Shaylin here.
Welcome. Are you Barb's? You're Barb's guest. You again. Today.
Always Barb's guest. Yes.
I love that girl.
I don't see any more hands raised. Is there anybody else who just wants to speak up, either as a visiting Rotarian or a guest? Hearing none. Welcome everybody. Back to you, President Barb.
Great, thank you, Devin, and welcome to everybody. Glad to have you all here with us. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to just rework our schedule a little bit so that our district governor, if he needs to go off and deal with a special Rotary project that I think he'll probably tell you about, he has the ability to do so. But first, I'm going to introduce Bill Bywater. So Bill is a longtime member of our club, past president, past district governor, and he has a special presentation for Steve Dakin. So Bill, if you want to unmute your microphone, we'd love to have you do that presentation. Okay, Bill, I think you're still here. Let's see. Still, there we go.
You got me now? Okay.
We got you now.
Thank you. The Governor Steve, President Barbara, fellow Rotarians. Welcome, Steve. The visit from your office is always a highlight of our club year. We're proud to have had 6 distinguished members serve as you are now doing. In addition, 3 other current or former members served District 6000 as governor from prior club affiliations. One, Lloyd Noller, made his official visit on a bicycle. He lived just down the hill from our longtime meeting place. You've made history today with your high-tech remote visit. Through the 105 years of our club's proud history, only one member among thousands has served as an international officer. Your great uncle, Alan Winston Dakin. His outstanding accomplishments are chronicled in our centennial booklet that each new member has received since we made club-wide distribution at our November 2015 centennial celebration. I hold in my hand Alan's unique membership pin that I received at the time of his death in 1992. The gold pin we all cherish and wear proudly is embellished with 2 panels that proclaim him as RI Director 1955-57 and Vice President 1956-57. Governor Steve, I know Alan would be extremely proud of you continuing his Rotary legacy as a family member. On behalf of the best Rotary Club in District 6000, I take great pleasure in presenting you with his pin.
Oh. This is the perfect time for everyone to practice your applause emote, little reaction in the corner. This is great. Yeah, I can tell that you're moved by that, Steve. So
There's a lot of emotion going on. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah. And if you look in the directory, I made specifics to him about that. You know, I wish I'd have known the man much better than I did. We were too distant, but and age difference. But we met on more than one occasion. And so, yeah, I remember going up to Pat's as assistant governor, and I forgot her name, your present you had that year, and she recognized my name and came up and told me all about Alan and everything, and that's why I knew I had to make sure I got down there. And so, yeah, I thank you. I really do appreciate it, you know, and I hope I make Alan proud. Yeah, thank you.
I think we're sure that you will, Steve. So, well, it's my pleasure to formally introduce Steve. So he actually joined the Rotary Club of Boone in 1975, and since that time has served as the club's treasurer, secretary, board member, and club president. In 2012, he was honored by District 6000 with the Guardian of Integrity Award. His Rotary experiences have included being a member of the PolioPlus team, Friendship Exchange team, and chair of the Disaster Relief and Humanitarian Service Fund for the district. He has hosted and participated in friendship exchanges, hosted youth exchange students, and was a driver for the Rollin' with Rotary campaign. In his professional work, Steve was a dealer with Sukup Manufacturing Products under the name of the Dakin Ag Equipment. After 40 years in the business, he retired to spend some more time on his Rotary service. He and his wife, Leslie, share 3 children. Leslie retired from the Des Moines Public School District after 30 years, and she is a member of the Rotary Club of Boone Evening. And I believe she is joining Steve right there as well. There she is. So if everyone could, please join me in welcoming our district governor and enthusiastic Rotarian, Steve Dakin. Steve, take it away.
Hey, thank you. I know your club has a long heritage of supporting the district through governors and others Gary and I've shared a few things and some others. I don't know if Ray's around there, but yeah, thank you for introducing my wife. She writes out notes to me, and sometimes she forgets to put her name down. so thank you. Yes, I'm proud to be a Rotarian. So there's no doubt. And I think it was Janet from Iowa Falls.
Yep.
Lowell is a classmate, and he's a great guy. You're gonna have a good time with Lowell. So you'll enjoy Lowell. He's a great guy. So let's see if we can get the share to work.
Yay.
Is it up?
Yep.
All right.
It is.
All right, here we go. So Holger Knack, he is our RI President 2020-21 from Germany. You can see up there 3 doors. Rotary opens opportunities. 2 of the door colors are for Rotary. And the red one is Rotaract. That tells you a lot about Holger. He's from Germany. One of the things about Holger is the fact that he was really big into youth exchange, ran Germany's for years, and he's going to have the thinnest resume you're going to see of any RI president. He did that, and he was a director. That shows you how everybody believes in this man and how he believes in Rotary.
Gonna work.
Well, I'm trying to move it here. Let's see. Well, my slides aren't moving. Try what?
Again. 10 minutes.
All right, let me try a different spot. Let me see if this will help us any.
There.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here's his wife, Susan. They have no children. They've hosted 40 youth exchanges. You can see his signature glasses on here. I'm not sure he needs them, but he has them all the time. This is at Zone. And he come up and saw my purple beard, and he had to know all about it. At 2 meals, he came and sat with me. I don't think if I'd had that purple beard, that would have happened. When we got to International Assembly in San Diego with 535 other district governors elects, he immediately knew who I was and came right up. This guy has a great memory. One of the things that he's going to emphasize is innovative club models. He wants to expand Rotary's membership in ways that we probably haven't been thinking about. He wants to do it through the community. He wants to do satellites, passports. He wants to do it on cause-based clubs, e-clubs. In Minnesota, they started Veterans Club. In Minnesota, they started a Passport Club, which is all about human trafficking. I've heard of clubs for families. They meet and talk about child rearing, and they'll do community projects. Just to throw out, it just came on July 1. We now have a 7th area of focus, and it's the environment. And so kind of keep that in mind if you want to try expand. Yes, Rotary's 115 years old. A proud, proud heritage, rightfully so. It's what we're going to do today and tomorrow is what we're going to be remembered by. We have an addition this year of Denison into the district. They are a very strong club, opposite end of the district from you guys, from your club there. They're have the community really behind them, and they really support the community. So they're going to be a welcome addition to District 6000. I really think the quickest way that we can grow is through one of these satellites, some other type of, passport cause-based club, and it needs a sponsoring club to make it work. At NC Pets, I challenged all the presidents to take risk. Status quo goes nowhere. Business as usual, it's comfortable. But we got to grow Rotary. We lost about 100 members this past year, and 28 of them, unfortunately, were feet first. So it tells us about our age, it tells us what's going on. One statistic that I learned was if you can keep a Rotarian 2.7 years, you probably have them for life. So when Barb tries to come up with a new direction or try something else new, I want you to give that a chance to see if it'll work. That's the only way you're going to know. And I hopefully it makes you uncomfortable, but it's probably going to have success because of that. And when you're out doing community projects, invite non-Rotarians so they can see that you're active in the community and you care about the community. And if you're out there having fun, they're going to want to be a part. Rotary develops friendships. Rotary develops relationships. Most all of my friends are Rotarians. So it's hard for me to ask people. Except I do go over to Ames to work out in the morning. And I have asked people at the rec center to join Rotary. The other day was talking to a Rotarian, and she was telling me about her friend. I said, have you asked her to be a Rotarian? And she said, no. I said, well, why not? Well, I've asked 5 people and they all turned me down, and I don't like rejection. I says, well, let's think about this a different way. I know Rotary is important to you, what it does for your community, what it does in the world. You have to think about your ask is going to be that result because you believe in it and you want to be a part of that and you want them to be a part of what you're doing. And I think if you approach it right, the ask, it becomes much easier and you're going to enjoy it and you're going to get more yeses.
Yes.
I bring this up for a lot of reasons. As you heard Barb say, I drove the rolling with the Rotary RV. Yeah, I sold my company in 2017 and I wanted this opportunity to go help Rotary more. And I was sitting 2 weeks later with Kathy Fay at a summit in Des Moines, and she said, we need a driver. My hand went up like, man, I'm in first grade. Yeah, I got to do this. Oh, we're leaving in 2 weeks. Okay, yeah, I'm in. She said, well, we're going to be gone 10 days. I'm in. She says, well, you want to talk to your wife? I said, well, yeah, but she'll support me. That was one of the biggest adventures of my life. 3,800 miles we covered. We stopped in Iowa City, and that's what I got to see firsthand. You just got that bike rack up, so I applaud you for that. During the RV trip, you can see my goggles, you can see that blue cape, you can see my wristbands. They gave me that to wear. I'd go out and entertain the elementary kids and we'd be making stops. We made 17 stops, visited 5 district conventions. I'm going to tell you, Rotary District 6000 is strong. I had on that, I was responsible for driving. Vice President at the time, Jennifer Jones. And to watch Jennifer, to watch these other young professionals, they charged my batteries up. I never dreamed that I would want to be governor. So we went to Minneapolis, and in Minneapolis, where we were supposed to stay at was a Rotarian's home who had a family emergency. And Tom Gump here standing beside me, Tom Gump stepped up and we stayed with Tom. We became friends. Now, Tom Gump has actually gotten 90 some yeses into Rotary. He asks everybody. Tom will wear a chicken outfit.
Yeah.
And it's been in a past Rotarian magazine about that.
Mm-hmm.
Tom helped get that Veterans Club going, and Tom helped get that Passport Club on human trafficking. So it's those superheroes, and my wife came up with the idea of Super Rotarian. And so she made me the rest of the outfit. You can't see my electric boots. Fun. That's what Rotary's supposed to be. You raise some money, you have an event for polio that you want to raise money, I will come down, wear that outfit, and for the right price, I'll take a pie in the face if it's for polio. This shows who Holger is and how he believes in the youth. As you heard, has hosted over 40. My wife and I have hosted 4. I'm a really big believer in RILA. I know you're a supporter of that. RILA, a brief a little bit about it is, you know, teams of 12, usually 8 girls and 4 boys. Past conferee becomes a counselor. The Rotarians there just to show support, give a life lesson. I believe RILA is we is greater than me is the kind of the concept I look at it. It's a safe zone, and so these kids are going to talk to you because they feel comfortable. And I always come away with that feeling stronger than when I went. They're our future, and they're already doing great things. Yes, I miss the days of handshakes and hugs. First time I went to RILA, I was really nervous. Me Too movement and other things were going on. Everybody gives hugs. There's no second thoughts. And I can't wait for the day again where we can do the handshakes and hugs. I think, as I mentioned before, Rotaractors are now Rotarians, can join at age 18. There's no upper limit. They're encouraged by the time they're 30 to actually join a Rotary Club. And I know that you're working with the interactors. I can remember some of your kids that you had sent. One of the things that's going to change next time is that the sponsoring club will be on the name badge of that conferee. Because I would ask them, who sponsored you? And sometimes they didn't know. So something simple, easy. I want to pass on something, a new one too. With Rotaract and Interact, you can do this in community-based. So you do not have to have a sponsor in the school. You just need somebody to oversee the program. So you can have kids from all school districts involved in a community-based Interact or Rotaract. Yeah, I put this one up here because I have several friends that farm, and I wanted to brag about my corn like they did. Fortunately, it's a lot taller now. But yeah, polio. Yeah, we're that close. When we give the immunization drops, well, they put a little purple dye or fingernail polish on their little pinky, and that's where the color purple came from. And that's why I put the purple on there. Yeah, it gets me some strange looks, maybe my risk. But, yeah, and my beard, sorry. She corrects me, and I need that. But I get to talk about Rotary. I get to talk about polio. And quite often the younger ones don't know anything about it. And that's a good thing. But I've got some membership because of this. And I believe it. You can see my Rotary hat there. I want all of you to wear something, a pin, wrong side. There's a pin, a shirt, a hat, something that indicates to the community, you're a Rotarian, you're proud of it. So I really encourage you to do that. One of the things that happened to Rotary was when this pandemic came, it showed everybody the virus is a plane right away, just like polio. And the World Health came to us and asked us, you're so successful at this immunization system, they wanted to learn. Yeah, World Health came to polio. something for us all to be proud of. I like this quote. Yes, I go to sleep at night knowing I served others. That's success. Just throw this out there for food for thought for you. Think about. The foundation, as I've said, you know, I want to support PolioPlus. I love matching monies, you know, and here we get to give $1 and the Bill and Melinda Gates gives us $2. You triple your money. If you're giving to the foundation, make sure that you check the share box. So half the money comes back to the district. Something I learned here last week was with like Amazon. You can go into Amazon when your purchases and you can tell them you can leave money to District 6000 HEF fund. And we periodically get a check. So if I had enough of us, that money will grow and add up. We had $100,000 is all we were able to give out because of the ask for the global grants. We had $30,000 left over that we didn't give out. And so it's not lost. It goes into the DDF fund. And so District 6000 still gets to use it however they want. There are so many great projects, and I know you've had some. One of the things is if you don't have your project completed, that does not mean you can't apply for it. You just cannot receive your money until you have the previous year's project completed. Something new this year is called a Foundation Club. The average membership has to be over $100 worth of giving, which is no problem for you guys. Every Rotarian every Rotarian has to give $25 out of the club to qualify. Now they have changed it to sustaining member. Every Rotarian every year is $25 a quarter or $10 a month direct. They like the direct part. And it probably saves your treasurer. Maybe he would like it too. Rotary and these other opportunities just gives us so much of a chance to improve our community. And then we get to touch the world at the same time, right there from our own communities. I know that Chris Knapp will be coming and talking about the foundation in much more detail. One of the things that happened because of the virus is on July 1, RI is no longer matching funds for international projects. So hopefully in a year we can get that changed back, but they gave out so much for the virus that they're suspending that for 1 year for sure. So back in June, we had a couple of grants were on the table and I was asked, but shouldn't have had to be, I was asked if it was okay to sign them. I said, well, absolutely, because they still got to have matching money. I will never pass up an opportunity for matching money. And I believe that this district is going to step up and take care of our needs for this coming year. So I know I have already talked to your club about the Sukup Safety Home. And I appreciate that. I'm going to go real quick on it because of that. Sheffield, Iowa. I don't know if there's some that weren't there. Sukup, because of the hurricane in 2010, the safety director said, hey, Steve Sukup, can we build a home out of grain bin? And he said, yes. They put 10 together, sent them down to Haiti. Couldn't get them off the dock. Go Serve Global, another Rotarian from Eagle Grove, Iowa. And a farmer started up Go Serve Global. They were already working there in missionary work. They said, Steve, we can get that moving. And they did. So the partnership from Sukup Safety Homes and Go Serve Global developed. Here's what some of them lived in before, same family after. You get a little better view of the bump outs for the wind sustainability, a double roof. You can kind of tell on top for ventilation. It also keeps it about 20 degrees cooler inside. And all the doors and windows are machete proof, security. 2016, Hurricane Matthew went through. Only 10% of traditional housing was still standing. Some of the Sukup safety homes had 60 people huddled together in there. There was recorded winds of 140 miles an hour. There was 200 homes there in 2016, 3 pieces of damage. The big thing, no loss of life. I just like throwing this out. Everyone likes to hear kind words. If not, you'll feel good about giving them. I just got reminded, and I apologize, I got to backtrack. And I have a goal, I hope to raise money for 25 homes, or $7,000 a piece. I don't expect every club, to come up with that. But what happened to me 2 weeks ago, an anonymous donor came up and gave me $56,000 of matching money to get started. So I wanted to throw that out to you. So now I'll get back on schedule. One of the things that Monday morning, 6:30, you're getting a little number 5-way test. I hope it's something that starts your week out with a smile. Maybe once in a while a groan. I get it. But we got to enjoy and get a good start to our Mondays, especially as Rotarians. Have some fun. This is on our refrigerator. My wife found that. Every morning when I'm drinking my coffee, I see this. I woke up. I have clothes to wear. I have running water. I have food to eat. I have Rotary. Life is good. I'm thankful. I'm going to kind of follow in Mike Ruby's theme of multiple sites, especially with Denison coming in. I wanted to really get to the far west side of the district. So over 2 weekends, we're going to be doing the conferences. You'll have one right there at the Radisson on Saturday. I'm trying to keep it simple. Rotary stories. What happened after you were asked? That's all it's going to be. Barb can tell you we went around at NC Pets and everybody told their Rotary moment, their Rotary, what they felt good about. There were some unbelievable good stories of inspiration. One I found quite interesting, and I know the man well, and he said, hey, I was with a different service organization. I was down in South America on a missionary trip, and there was a coup. I couldn't leave. Rotary came and got us. He said, then I knew I had to be a Rotarian, and he is today. So I hope that you can attend. You got one in your backyard. This is what happened today. I have this up there because in 2017, we did a visioning, which is now called strategic planning. And I encourage your club to do this so that you can have a plan for 3 to 5 years out. Out of that visioning that day was I got to start the satellite club, which turned into a cause-based club, mostly teachers. Big into literacy, have received 2 community grants. And the other part was because 2019 was Boone Rotary Club's 100th anniversary of celebration. So we came up with the train. We're a train town. And we had this steam engine at the Boone and Scenic Valley Railroad. So yesterday we moved the tender and the passenger car. And today we moved that steam engine over 220,000 pounds from 11th Street down Story Street, and it's on site now. And hopefully they get it down the tracks pretty soon. I'm going to find out here. No emergencies yet, so I can stay with you a little bit, Barb. So I leave you with this. Be Rotary happy. Show everybody you're Rotarian. Let your community know. So I've got some time for some questions and answers if anybody has anything.
Great, thanks. So if anybody has any questions, please go to that participant button and raise your hand. Steve, if you could stop sharing your presentation, then we can see you well.
Thank you.
So I'll just ask quickly, with that big locomotive train project, you said it's the locomotive and then 2 additional cars, is that right?
Correct.
And is it located like in a central thoroughfare in Boone? So
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. I've said this so many times, I probably forgot to say it again. It's at the intersection of Highway 30 and South Story Street. It's on DOT land. They gave permission. And so next time you go on Highway 30 going by Boone, if you're not coming in town, please stop. Please give me a shout. Always welcome. But I don't live in Boone. I live north of town on a farm. You will see the steam engine, the tender, and the passenger car. 150 feet from front to back. It looks like it's coming into town. And all it will have on it is Boone Scenic Valley Railroad and a big Rotary emblem, Rotary Welcome Train.
that's wonderful. That's great. Well, good luck. I hope everything continues to go well. I know it is a huge project to deal with equipment that's that big and that cumbersome. So stay safe with that as well. And so I do see that John Colshaw has a question. John, if you'd like to unmute, you could ask your question.
Great, thanks, Barb. Hi, District Governor. So in the spirit of opening opportunities, I'm wondering what you will do as District Governor to embrace diversity, equity, inclusion in Rotary, and in particular, how you will encourage people of color or LGBT folks to seek leadership opportunities, because when I look through that directory, it's a very white set of photographs. Thank you.
I get it. Anybody that knows me knows all I see is a person, a Rotarian. Everybody is welcome. I'm going to work harder at it. Quite frankly, when you think you have a lot of time as district governor-elect, it goes by so fast. And I tried to open it up a little bit to the district, and I tried to be inclusive. You'll see some names on there. There's some. It's up to us to go ask. And if we want to make that change, it's up to us to go make the ask. We met with Perry, a large Latino, and so I'm trying to work with them how to get a Latino club, maybe even Spanish speaking. Yeah, I'm open to any ideas. I'll try to help any way I can. Dave Cook has kind of taken over the membership here from Boone, and he's on board. So you tell me how I can help you, and I'll be there.
Great. Thank you, Steve. I think that is a reminder to all of us that we all have a role in that, and that we are responsible for looking at our friends, our associates, our acquaintances, and people who can instill those values of Rotary, but that can add to the conversation and make our club diverse. We're in a big community. We have the opportunity to do that, but we all have a role to ask, to reach out, to invite people to participate. So Steve, I see that we don't have any other questions, but I did want to let you know that our club will actually make a donation to Rotary's PolioPlus program in your name. And as you mentioned, just a reminder to our members in our club, that means that that $10 donation we make actually becomes $30, thanks to that 2-to-1 match from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And for those of you that might be wondering, that actually translates to 70 vaccinations.
Yeah.
So thank you, Steve. We appreciate your time here. And, you know, just a kind of a virtual round of applause for you. We appreciate it, and best of luck in your term. I know it's a lot to kind of take on and do. And Leslie, thanks for all the support that you're providing to Steve in that time. So I would like to try to make sure that we get some of our announcements out today. So if you do have an announcement, I encourage you to go to that participant button and raise your hand. I do know that Josh Schomburger is with us, and that Josh does have an announcement that is really for all of us, all Rotarians in our area. Josh, if you'd like to unmute your microphone, I'd welcome you to make that announcement.
All right, can you hear me okay there, Barb?
Yes, we can.
All right, well, I'm on the road, so I appreciate the opportunity to visit with most of you here today. Was a desire kind of early on, a month or so ago, to see if we can get all the Rotary clubs in the area to get in and get a sneak peek of the Extreme Arena and Green State Family Fieldhouse that we have been working on developing, and I've been assisting Coralville with for a number of years, but we are on track to open that up right around the first part of September. Middle of September is when we'll open it to the public. And so we have set up an opportunity for everybody in this club and all the clubs to come and do a walkthrough and have a little short meeting with all the clubs together. We're going to do that on August 3rd at 4:30. There'll be some information that'll be going out soon. I think that'll be coordinated through Barb and some others, but Kelly Hayworth and I will kind of co-host everybody and look forward to having all of you there and seeing what this development is all about. There's a lot that's changed in the world of COVID, and it certainly is the same with the development down there. But we did announce some good news a couple hours ago. It hit the press that this fall we'll host the 2020 Senior Nationals for USA Wrestling. So the best men and women wrestlers in the world will, at least as of right now, it's on the schedule to return to Iowa City this fall. It's our hope that we can do that. We need to be able to do that, obviously, in a safe way, not only for athletes, but anybody that would be allowed in to see the event. So fingers crossed on that. It's at least on the board, and that contract was finalized yesterday, and hopefully that'll just start the trend of things maybe we can figure out a way to do in coordination with our friends over at the hospitals and clinics and Johnson County Public Health. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But in the interim, we'll have a pretty new building to show off and see what the future looks like for the community.
Great, thank you, Josh. So as Josh mentioned, you will get some information about that. So when you get the email today with the link to the YouTube recording of our meeting, you will get 2 notes of information. One, if you would like to attend this event in person, you are required to RSVP. Now, why? It's because to do this safely, they need to know exactly how many people will be there. They're practicing social distancing. Masks will be required. So in your email today, you will see a link to the Eventbrite RSVP link. So you can, if you want to join this event in person, you can do that. But in addition, for many of you, we know that you may not be comfortable coming to the arena and doing that in person. And so luckily, they have also organized the opportunity for you to participate via Zoom. So in the email today, you will also see the information for Zoom. You should copy that down, put it in your personal calendar, so that if you're not comfortable being there in person, you can actually participate via Zoom. So thanks to Josh and everybody in Coralville for kind of giving us this opportunity to see this cool facility that will be opening. So, and best of luck. Hopefully all of the opening procedures go well. Next, I see that we have an announcement from Janet Lambertson. Janet, would you like to unmute your microphone and make your announcement?
Sure. Yeah, just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate hearing Steve, your district governor, talk today. I'm in District 5970. I'd like to invite you, and you can let me know how to do this, to our Monday meeting that's coming up on July 27, when our district governor from District 5970, Lowell Stuhlman, will be giving a presentation at 12:30. He's going to talk about different clubs in District 5970, what they're doing, what some of their projects are, and what some of their fundraisers are. And would you like to have you come if you can make it? If Barb can let me know an email address or something, and I can send it to her and she can send it out, I'll let you know when I get the Zoom set up.
You bet. That would be great, Janet. Also, next, I'd like to call on Mark Priest. So Mark, you have an announcement?
Yeah, thank you, Steve, for a really high energy presentation. We're looking forward to the year with you. I'm kind of being a Jim Merchant, that we've been putting together this matter of Rotary Kerber Heart Safe initiative. And I wanted you guys to know that the letters have gone out to congregations, and already we're starting to get responses. So we will be delivering AEDs to churches probably starting next week. It's a great project, and we're going to saturate this town with Heart Safe. Blessings to all. Thanks.
That's wonderful. Excellent. That's good news. Next, we have an announcement from Pete. I believe that's probably Pete Wallace. Pete, if you'd like to unmute your microphone. And
Thank you, Barb. This is not 100% Rotary, but it's been mentioned several times by you and Steve concerning masking, COVID, shutdown, and coming up. Last week, the Board of Health of Johnson County developed a resolution which outlined the need for masks, how to get our economy back in shape, get our kids back to school, the restrictions, the exceptions. We showed it to Bruce Teague, our mayor, who essentially took that resolution and presented it, as you all know, as an impetus for the city of Iowa City to wear masks. Yesterday, we presented it to the Board of Supervisors. To say they were enthusiastic is an understatement. And they passed it this morning at their regular meeting to ask all 12 municipalities in our county to initiate a mandatory mask order, if that's what you want to call it. There's obviously our governor is hamstrung us to some degree. But what I think that we as Rotarians, being frankly influential people in the community, we have an obligation to do as much as possible to encourage people to be safe. It's been estimated if 90% of the population would wear masks for the next 8 weeks, we could get a hold of this and get our economy back in shape by the end of the year, just as 25 countries in this world have done and shown us how. We haven't. This is our opportunity, and I think we, as Johnson County residents and as Rotarians, can serve as examples. Thank you for your indulgence.
you bet. I totally agree. Mask up, everyone. And lastly, I'd like to go to Tricia Smith. I know she has some exciting announcements from the United Way. Tricia?
Thank you so much, Barb. I am excited to share both an opportunity for you to share, but also an opportunity, if you're interested and feel safe, to volunteer. We've been trying to keep you up to date on what is happening in our community and what we all are doing to support our community through this pandemic. And United Way put our heads together, and a staple in some of the larger United Ways across the country is something called a financial stability center. So we have created 3 pop-up centers to connect individuals in our community who are looking for resources, looking to find help because they have found themselves in unstable positions. And so we're just trying to connect them to those resources. And so we'll be doing that on Tuesday, the 28th of July, Wednesday, the 29th, and Thursday, the 30th. We've partnered with the Iowa City Community School District, and so those pop-up events will go from 4 to 6 p.m. They are located in elementary schools, the first one at Coralville Central, the second one at Van Allen in North Liberty, and the third one on the 30th at Alexander. So we're looking for a couple of opportunities here for people. We need volunteers. We'd love to have you volunteers. All of our volunteers will be provided with the appropriate PPE, including masks as well as face shields. All of our guests are required to wear masks. And all of our participants, and that would be like the Iowa City Community School District, HACAP, Goodwill, will all be sharing and connecting attendees. We will be limiting 10 attendees to the space at one time, again, to follow all of the school district's requirements. If you'd like more information, give me a call, give me a chat, give me an email. I'd love to connect you to this and share more information about the benefits of this in our community. So I look forward to connecting with you all.
Great, thank you, Tricia, and kudos to you and the United Way for that good work that you continue to do to serve everyone in our community. So I do want to remind people that we do have a membership brainstorming coming up next week. If you're interested in participating in that, please reach out to me and I'll share the information with you. And then lastly, there is no better way for us to end this meeting than on a positive moment. So today, our Rotary moment of positivity and gratitude is coming from Kelly Stobb. So Kelly, please share.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am going to share actually a family tradition that has become very special during this quarantine time. As you all, we're all isolating and not in contact and communication with our loved ones and our friends as much. Something that we have done is called the King's Chair or the Queen's Chair. So we do this for birthdays, and we have done it via Zoom, via text, group text messaging. And what we do is the birthday person, so the king or the queen, we send a special memory or a character trait that we have seen developed over the last year. And I had a birthday, my family did it over that. My grandpa had his 90th birthday just on Tuesday, and we did that. And it has been so much fun to really just lift up that person. As you know, we're all feeling a little down. So, and birthdays, we can't have birthday parties, just aren't as special or as celebrated as we'd like them to be. And so we have found this is just a great way to lift that person up. And usually we end up getting sidetracked and sharing funny stories about the person, and we start laughing. And it just has been a really bright spot in all of our lives and friends' lives to help celebrate that day. So I thought I'd pass it on to share. If you want to do that with your families and friends on birthdays to help encourage each other and to just point out the good that we see in each other.
Well, that is great. That's a great tradition. I kind of like that idea. I think, you know, when we began with the pandemic and we all were quarantined, we all thought it would happen for only a short period of time. And, you know, and then as it has gone on, more and more of us have had birthdays in quarantine where we can't really celebrate with our friends. And what a great way to do it, by providing that person with some positive thoughts and memories and perspective on their contribution into your own life. So wonderful, wonderful thing. So with that, if there are no other elements or any issues for the members of the club, I invite you to unmute your microphone if you'd like to, and we will join in reciting the four-way test. So of the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill, better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Number
So thank you all for joining the meeting, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Good luck with the train project, Steve.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
You bet. And Janet, I will send you an email so that you'll have my email and we can share that information. So with that, the meeting's adjourned. Have a great day, everyone.
Everybody.